something not related to practice, if that's okay. Doing a thing on your fadeaway throw. It's kind of like a, sort of becoming a signature thing for you. It's pretty special. I just wonder kind of how that comes natural to you as a thrower.
Yeah, I think it's really just something that kind of just naturally happens on the field. It's not anything that you're thinking about doing. I think it's just something I've always done as a quarterback and throwing, and I don't know where it might have come from or originated from, but I don't know if it's from shooting jump shots and fading away. I don't know. So I think it's just something that happens naturally.
I read your piece that you wrote and that you were almost named Michael Jordan. So it just seems kind of cool that there is the basketball element to your throwing game.
Shooting a jump shot out there, I guess.
Yeah.
You know.
Where does the creativity come from? Do you work on adding creativity to your game? Like how does that work for you?
I mean, just throwing the ball. I think I've always had a pretty. That's kind of been one of my strengths, is to be able to play off platform and different things like that. And then I think just my time here with Aaron, being able to see the different throws he would make off platform, feet different ways, just creativity to, you get put in certain positions in the field, in the pocket where it can't be a perfect look as just throwing routes on air every time. So you got to find ways to, kind of contort your body and find ways to make the throws, no matter what the situation is. So I think a lot of that I saw from A-Rod, and you get in these situations now, and it's just, how do I make this throw work? How do I find best to flip my feet, or I can't flip my feet and just kind of flick the ball out there sometimes. So I think that's a trait a lot of quarterbacks got to have, is be able to find ways to throw the ball off platform, different arm angles. I think it just helps you in certain situations.
Jordan, what do you feel like you got out of what you could do in practice this week?
Yeah, I think the most I could do was 7-on-7, and obviously not being in team and no contact type things. So I think 7-on-7 has been great. Just be able to get myself back out there on the field and get back seeing reps and throwing the ball, and obviously continuing to build the timing and precision with the receivers and the tight ends and everybody, and obviously go out there and read the defense. So I'm still trying to get good reps in and good work in without the team aspect.
Is there any pain or soreness in the thumb right now? Or?
Nope, it feels good right now.
So theoretically, if this were a game week, would you play?
If this were a game week, yeah, I'd be playing. Hopefully, we'll see.
Yesterday, though, 7-on-7, you were really sharp. Today, I think there was only like 3 or 4 completions in all those plays. What'd you make of it? What did you get out of it?
Yeah, no, I think I think there's some stuff that we'll watch it and definitely clean up. As red zone 7-on-7, windows are a little bit tighter. Everything happens quicker down there. So, obviously a couple plays that we left out there that wish we could have got back, but it's good stuff to go back and look at. Obviously going against Seattle's defense, a little bit different than what we've been going against. So, some good work, and we'll have some stuff that we'll look at and clean up.
Seemed to be a big day for the tight ends. Just what you see out of Musgrave and Crafts.
They're making some big plays out there today. A lot of contested catches, and we're on the winning side of that. So definitely stuff you love to see, and I think both those guys have been doing a great job all the way through camp and been making plays. I think Luke's been doing a great job and really coming into his own, and just he's been a lot more consistent, I feel like, this camp, and now he's going and making those big time plays downfield, which you love to see. Yeah, it's joint practices. I feel like almost every joint practice, there's always some type of scuffle going on. So, it's one of those things you hate to see, because it just kind of stops practice and prolongs some of those drills. But we don't get as many reps in. But it's one of those things that happens. So yeah.
So just fight after practice, like that?
Yeah, just fight after practice.
Because that was one of the bigger fights I've seen in 30+ years, 16. Is that one of the bigger ones you've seen, the biggest one?
Oh yeah, that's one of the bigger ones. I think every time when you get both sidelines clearing, it's tough. So try your best to break it up and things like that, but it's gonna happen, man. I don't know. There's no answer for it.
You said you hate to see it, but do you like to see that fire from the guys?
Yeah. I mean, as a team, when things happen and you got guys throwing punches at another guy, that's the part of the team that you love to see. Guys got to have each other's back out there and go out there, and we're not going to let one of our guys just go out there and get beat up at all. So we're going to go out there, and like you said, you hate to see it, but you love to see the team having each other's back, going out there fighting for one another for sure.
To have a clean practice in Indy, what was the biggest difference of just there being more scrum speed? Is there one?
No, I don't know. I think it just all it takes is one little spark, and then tempers flare, and things happen so quickly. So, I don't think there's a rhyme or reason for why it happens. It's just one. It takes one little play, one little scuffle to turn to a big fight.
Jordan, I'm sorry if you already answered this, but I guess how awkward has it been for you trying to go through practice, drills, workouts, with baseball?
Yeah, it's a little bit different, but it's not anything that's too crazy. It's a left hand, so it's definitely it's having something on the hand, and right now not having contact on the ball with my thumb, things like that. But it's nothing that is I think going to stand in the way of anything.
Jordan, when you're away from here, do you have it wrapped, or are you
Yep.
it's wrapped the whole time right
Yep.
now? From the QB's perspective, what is the most important skill, or what makes a great wide receiver? Is it things like speed, good route running, or good hands? What stands out to you as what makes a great wide receiver?
It's a good question. I think there's a little bit of everything. I think at the end of the day, as a receiver, just having great hands, being able to go catch the ball and make those contested catches and just come down with the ball is always a great trait to have. But there's a lot more that goes into it in terms of just knowing where to be, knowing the time of the offense, where you need to be, how to run routes versus different looks and when is a very key component of that, because you can, there's fast guys that, might not win on routes, and there's slow guys that just got great fundamentals, great technique, and can win. So I think going out there and winning versus whoever's out there at DB, whatever look you're getting, and just consistency to be able to come down with the ball.
Is there a timetable for your thumb, or is that something we could see for the foreseeable future, even possibly week one?
Yeah, it's one of those things we're going to be taking week by week and day by day with it, so there's no real timetable.
Jordan, what kind of camp do you think Taylor's put together for you guys, and especially with him making that transition to the American game, just being able to kind of tackle that the way he has this summer?
I think Taylor's done a great job. I think Taylor's a really smart guy. He's picked up the offense very well, and he's done some good things on the field. And I think, like you said, the transition from Canada ball to American ball is, it's definitely not easy. So I think he's done a great job at it. I think he's been getting better with every rep he's getting and just learning and growing. So I think he's done a good job.
How much has Matthew Golden impressed you over the past month?
Yeah, he's done some really, really good things. I think he's came in, he's made a name for himself, and he's making some good plays every day. So it's one of those things we just got to keep building the consistency. And obviously, it's going to be a long season, so just got to have that mindset to be able to keep getting better every day, keep dominating. But he's done some great things.
Jordan, this is your sixth camp overall, your third as a starter. Would you be standing here today as the starter if you had to play right away, or what do you think that would have been like?
I don't know. Who knows? I'd say yeah, but who knows?
Jordan, with 3 pivotal receivers out for an extended time this camp, what gives you confidence that this team and offense can click right away if they're back on the field week one?
Say that again, sorry.
You have 3 receivers who's missed some pretty significant time here in camp. What gives you confidence that this offense can click week one if they're all back out there?
Yeah, that's one of those things you hate to see. Injuries and guys missing time. It's part of it. It sucks, but it is part of it. So I think those guys have been doing a great job staying locked in on the side, and obviously they're missing a lot of reps, which isn't great. But I think once they get back out there, we'll be able to hit the ground running. I think they have they've got a lot of playing time under their belt, so not like it's their first camp or things like that. So I think they'll be in a great position when they get back. It does suck missing time, for anybody, no matter what position you're at. So it's one of those things that I think when they get back, we'll be able to hit the ground running. And they got the right mindset about it to be able to handle things. And like I said, they have experience and reps, and they're staying locked in right now, which is great.
Jordan, I'm sorry, I heard you talking a little bit about the fight. Maybe it was the helicopter parent in me, but I feel like you were a little closer to that than maybe I would want you to be if I was Matt. What's the fine line between supporting your guys as a quarterback with a bad thumb and making sure you stay clear of it?
Oh, no, I'm making sure I stay clear for sure. Like you said, I'm kind of just roaming around, making sure everybody's straight and just seeing kind of what's going on. But, definitely, especially right now with the injury, I'm not going to be getting any scuffles right now, so I'm going to stay away.
Jordan, I know that you were asked about the tight ends earlier, but I asked Mike McDonald after practice just the kind of problems that an offense present to a defense when you have multiple tight ends that are playmakers like today. When you watch that, you start salivating over the possibilities of having Luke Cam talk about like that?
Definitely. I think that's something that since they both got here and we've been able to see what they can do on the field, I think that's one thing that Matt and the guys drawing the plays have been kind of hunting for, is to be able to get them both on the field and do some pretty cool things in the pass game with them, and then obviously marry it all up with the run game. But the possibilities are endless for sure, and I think, like I said before, those guys have been doing a great job and building and continuing to stack days. And Tuck has done some great things on the field, and I think Luke's having a great camp as well. So like you said, to be able to have both those guys out there, present some problems for defenses, and depending on what they want to do, if they want to play base and keep more linebackers on the field and less DBs, we'll be able to get some good matchups, because those guys can both run really well and can catch the ball really well. So I think it'll be tough on defenses to see how they want to adjust and what kind of coverages and things they want to do to play us when we have both those guys out there. But we'll see when we get into the season how we can kind of keep dialing things up with them.
Two more for Jordan. Tucker's done what he's done. He's staying on the field. He's shown that he can make plays at this point, specifically with Luke and him being healthy. What has he shown you in this game?
No, I think he stepped up big. I think this is his best camp so far. I think just the consistency is there for him right now. I think he's putting it all together, understanding the offense, the routes he's running, where he needs to be, the timing, and now he's just going out there playing fast and making plays. So I definitely think this is his best camp, and it's one of those things we just got to keep building, keep stacking the days, and obviously go make it happen on Sundays.
All fighting aside, what did you make of the intensity level out there from the guys today?
That was great. I think that was one thing that last week in Indy, we kind of made a note on to kind of pick that intensity up a little bit. Bring some more juice out there to practice today, and I think we did a great job of that. I think everybody brought some juice. We're flying around, and I think we're making some big time plays out there. So I think it always starts with that. You got to make big time plays to kind of get guys going, bring some of that juice. But I think the way we started was great.